that crowd, they know who it is. They know the name. The next generation, indeed.
Next gen. That's his nickname.
What's up, Steelers fans? I have a bad feeling that things are about to get real ugly in the Burgh. But before I get to tonight's 21-18 loss to the now 3-8 New England Patriots, I want to talk about Mason Cole, who was maligned in the last week as a result of a couple errant snaps that occurred in a downpour. The entire contents of the Pacific Ocean fell on the city of Pittsburgh last Sunday, and you're gonna blame the center for not being able to pick a ball up off the wet ground and get it between his legs cleanly. If you have specific itemized criticisms of the things that Mason Cole isn't doing that you don't like, I would be all for that. I would love to hear that. But just saying that a guy sucks makes you look stupid because he's making millions of dollars to play a game. Obviously, he doesn't suck at it. He is here because of a specific directive from the Rooneys to fix the run game. He's very good, Cole is, at pulling in the run game, getting out in front, leading the charge. That's what he does. That's why he's here. If the directive had been get me a Big Ben passing game again, then you might have gone with somebody who, can stand up to Jordan Davis bull rushes, if those guys even exist. TJ was hurt on the first play and didn't look like himself for at least the entire first half, probably the entire game, actually. He took a knee from Zeke Elliott right to the chin there, and a couple plays later he got cleated in the face. Highsmith on the other end. We talk about TJ, especially with his comments this past week. We talk about TJ getting held all the time. They had Alex in a headlock as he was trying to come around the edge there, and that's on the play that he had his neck injury. And you wonder how that happened when a guy's ripping your neck up and away from your body. Obviously, of course, no penalty was called. So it looks like it's not just a TJ thing. It looks like a Steelers-wide thing. The Juju catch on the first drive, the big one, that was right over, I think, Casey's outstretched hands there. That play should have been challenged. I saw the ball hit ground. I saw it move. They might have ruled that he had it for long enough before that happened, but you never know unless you throw the flag, which Mike Tomlin has seemed to become gun-shy about of late after his losing record in those situations has become a matter of not just local but national curiosity. He says he's got a guy up in the booth taking a look at that and advising him on those challenge, don't challenge situations, but I don't know what that guy's name is and why he's not stocking shelves at the Dollar General. Minka came back last week and immediately broke his hand, but he was out there again with a club and playing a lot of inside linebacker in this game because the cupboard is just not an Indian to be found. It's as bare as bare can be. Landon played through an injury tonight because he had to. You saw that one play towards the end where he glanced off helmets with Larry Ogunjobi. He was a little slow to get up, but there was no way he could have came out. He wasn't letting himself get taken off the field in that situation. With the linebackers in coverage, Zappe and the Patriots were just eating over the middle. The second touchdown, Minka was up as a inside linebacker, and he tried to get back on Hunter Henry, but that ball was a perfectly thrown ball. It was elevated above the other Steelers defender there. And, sometimes the other guy makes a play. There weren't many other positives in the first half for the defense other than the Landon sack. It took two stunting defensive linemen crashing in to the right for him to loop around to the left, to get around clean there. And, he's been doing so much dirty work. He's been banged up in the last couple of weeks. It's good to see him get a nice shiny stat to show for his efforts there. Coming out after halftime, whatever adjustments Austin and the defense did worked to perfection. They gave up that long catch and run to Zeke on the first play, and then pretty much nothing else the rest of the night. You saw a great defensive effort from the Steelers on the Patriots' last offensive third down of the game. They tried to do that tush-push, and dudes leaping over the line stymied them for absolutely no gain. Miles Killebrew, the special teams captain, redeemed himself from his 3-penalty game last week with a blocked punt tonight. I think that's his fourth. He had one earlier this year that ended in a safety, and then he had two, I think that was 2 years ago, actually. Anyway, he gets after the punts as good as anyone. And while I'm on the topic of punting and punting units, the false start on the Steelers long snapper in the crunch time there, we've seen that go against the Steelers when we were on defense and the opposing long snapper lifting his helmet up, trying to trigger that dude's coming over the line. Everyone on the broadcast thought it was a defensive penalty. Everyone on the Patriots thought it was a defensive penalty. And then they talked about it for 4.5 minutes and then came out and said it was a false start on the long snapper. You saw Danny Smith rightfully giving the ref an earful there. The willingness to inject yourself as a referee into the proceedings of a game in such a weighty moment, and then to keep the flag in your pocket on the Deontay Johnson 4th down, the long ball attempt, which ridiculous call on a 4th and 2 to throw it 40 yards downfield. But regardless, Deontay had him beat. He had a good release, and Jackson had to grab him to get back into the play. And before the ball was even in the air, there was holding. There was holding throughout the catch attempt. He was holding Deontay from being able to fully chase that ball. And I guess the back judge must have just been positioned in a way that he couldn't see the wrapped around arm. On the offensive side of the ball, I thought the Patriots defenders were laying on Najee for inordinate amounts of time after he was tackled, especially in the early goings there. They obviously have the injury report. They know he's got a bum knee, and they look like they were targeting it. That's what I thought until I saw 93 do the same thing to Jalen Warren. Darnell Washington, we can put to bed the narrative of him being a 6th lineman. He was ragdolled by a defensive end on the first drive, and then on the third drive, he missed his block and led to that 5-yard loss on a Najee run. He's a good blocker for a tight end, but the qualifier there is really important, the for a tight end part. He's a tall man, and he's not skinny by any means, but he's not built like a lineman. He's too small and too tall to really succeed as an offensive lineman, because those James Harrison types just get under his pads, forklift him. It's hard to block down on a guy shorter than you. On to Mitch Trubisky. There wasn't a dramatic change over Kenny Pickett. But what I do like from Trubisky that I don't see as much from Pickett is the manipulating of defenses, the use of his cadence to try to get them to declare early what they're planning on doing. I mean, that's the kind of thing that if Pickett even hopes to, cement a status as a game manager, which is a title we give to bad/mid QBs, he's going to have to get that down and learn how to. And I've talked before about him not being able to adjust his line and read blitzes, and you would like the center to be able to point guys out, but he's down in the dirt, and the quarterback's standing over surveying it all. He's got the bird's eye view, or closer to a bird's eye view. He's the one who should be making those decisions. And as for the booing, it feels severely low class, especially when you're booing or chanting when one of your own players is down injured on the field. I was severely bummed out by the actions of the fans in the stadium. You can afford a parking pass, a ticket, the $15 beer in your hand. Things are going pretty well for you in your life. Why are you so angry and so you're filled with this notion that you deserve better football? Your life's going pretty good. What is going wrong in your life that made you this way? This is how Browns fans act. This is how the old Oakland Raiders fans acted. This is not befitting. The Deontay touchdown, great pass protection from Najee in the backfield. Mitch slid towards daylight, but he stayed in the pocket. Hint, hint. Perfect ball placement over the outside shoulder, so the defender, if he were to make a play on that, he would have had to go through Deontay's body, which would obviously give us the ball 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line. As far as Deontay's part of it, he beat the defender off the line with a nice outside release, then weaved back inside. He got the defender kind of, wibbling and wobbling, and that's why he wasn't able to get solid footing to elevate for that ball. I don't know if it would have mattered if he were able to get off a clean leap, because of the ball was just so perfectly placed there. Deontay barely got his fingertips on it. It's going to be interesting to see that route on the AWS, the route running chart. We think of vertical routes as just you run straight and fast, but every single one, the guy's weaving in and out. You go one way to get your release, and then it's just one of many examples of the depth of nuance that the average fan doesn't appreciate, doesn't realize. And that's the kind of stuff that leads them to tweet stupid things about Deontay and Mason being bad football players. As far as the game plan goes, the Patriots were not surprised about what we tried to do coming out, trying to run it heavily. They weren't surprised when it didn't change in the second half, and still running on 1st and 2nd down. And it just seemed lazy and stale and flat until the Connor Hayward, the leap on 3rd and 17, leaped over a dude and then ran through another dude for a 1st down. After the Walker interception, that he could have taken that all the way. The Steelers had all the momentum in the world, and they came out with the same old stuff, the ground and pound. And the Patriots were ready for it and stopped it. And you get into a 4th and 2, and I'm begging them to kick the field goal down at what the 2-yard line there. And then you get into the 4th and 2, and I'm begging them to kick it after last week not being able to get a single yard. Why would you think, let's double that, and we might be able to get that one. I did not like that decision. Obviously, it didn't work out. Just in general, too many trick plays, especially once you do one. Why would you do the same play again? I know you handed the ball to you did the same thing in the opposite direction, but they've seen that. Why are you running the same trick play twice, just flipped? Having Connor throw a pass at the goal line on 3rd down, I don't know why you're getting that cute in that situation. Just run the QB sneak on 3rd down, and then, because you need the 2-point conversion, come back and then try that nonsense on the 2-point conversion. Actually, I like the play they actually ran with the spacing, so I would have been mad about that either way. But then the next time they got into a 4th down situation, they wanted to run the punt team out there, but they couldn't get them on in time, had to call a timeout. And after you've committed that much to it, why not at that point? I think was the thinking. But we've seen Penn State go for it when they didn't really have to a couple times this year, and it kind of cost them the games against Ohio State and Michigan. Certainly Michigan, maybe not Ohio State so much. But after you go for it once, it's pretty much, if that's a go-for-it situation, every other subsequent 4th down should also be a go-for-it situation. Otherwise, you're admitting you made a mistake the first time. Circling back to the false start on the punt, after the Steelers punt, they got penalized for that. The next time the Patriots were punting, you saw Landon trying to point out that their center and their long snapper was doing the exact same thing that the Steelers did, that they got penalized for. But to no avail, obviously. I think that if you just called that penalty in a huge situation against the Steelers, you would have your eyes peeled and waiting for it to happen again. Herbstreit mentioned on the broadcast that kind of thing happens all the time. Well, why isn't it called all the time? Well, therein lies the problem with the NFL and officiating. You have some refs who are like, I don't want to make the show about me in this situation. I'm not going to throw a flag. You have other refs who are like, I want to make this all about me. Everyone, these 70,000 people are all here to see me do my little hand signals and whatnot. I'm going to go out there and throw flags at everything. It's so inconsistent even within a single crew. Like, you could have the back judge could be like, this is pass interference. But if you have the down judge seeing the exact same thing, he'll be like, no, I'm going to let that go. 2 bad losses for these Steelers in a row. I'm not ready to start calling for Mike Tomlin's job yet. I don't know why you expected it to get dramatically better when you fire your play caller and go with a play caller who was also fired. And when he was hired here, he was like, yeah, we're not going to let you call plays. I don't know why you'd think that guy would be better than the guy who wasn't doing a great job at it, but at least he was getting the run game on track. Now, I'm not sure we have anything on track.